very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I am Savindri Javardhana. Let's look at the top stories for the day. Government challenges the opposition leader to prove his allegation of government spending of 600 billion rupees within last 3 months. Newly opened Mata to Barvakumara extension of the Southern Expressway will be open for traffic from midnight today. News in detail. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa accuses present government of losing 500 to 700 billion rupees from the state income over the past 13 weeks. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, however, failed to give further explanation as to how the government has lost this amount, and he levelled many other criticisms on the government addressing a media briefing held at the Parliament complex today.
I would like to pose this question to the present government. What were you doing for the past 13 weeks without introducing a budget? A budget consisting of proposals and promises that were encapsulated in your political manifesto, presidential manifesto. The first action that this government took was not to introduce a budget, but to prorogue Parliament till the 3rd of January. And even after convening of Parliament on that day, up to this date, the government has failed to propose a cohesive budget.
Speaking further, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa highlighted that the opposition did not oppose supporting the supplementary expenses on development projects, but it only opposed the raising of the debt ceiling. He further noted that the government withdrew both proposals of the motion and are trying to blame the opposition. Moreover, the opposition leader emphasized that Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's request on the Indian government for a 3-year moratorium on Sri Lanka's repayment of its loans, along with the recent request to raise the debt ceiling in Sri Lanka, is hilarious.
We certainly objected to the loan ceiling being enhanced. Please observe the political dichotomy that is exhibited by this present government. We have the present Prime Minister in his visit to India requesting Prime Minister Modi for a postponement of debt repayments up to 3 years because of the financial crisis facing the present government. While requesting for postponement of loan repayments from India, it is also stated that if India does so, China will also follow suit. Now, having made this request from the Indian Prime Minister, we have the hypocritical situation whereby the present government comes to this sovereign parliament of Sri Lanka requesting for a 212 billion rupee additional loan enhancement and an increase of the loan ceiling. What a preposterous proposition.
Cabinet spokesman and Information and Mass Media, Higher Education, Technology and Innovation Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena challenges the leader of the opposition, parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa, to prove his allegation of government spending 600 billion rupees within last 3 months. Addressing a media briefing at the Government Information Department, Dr. Gunawardena said that the leader of the opposition has mistakenly understood the government's withdrawn effort of amending the vote on account.
රටේ මූල්‍ය ක්‍රමය පිළිබඳ තියෙන ප්‍රායෝගික යථාර්ථය දේශපාලනඥයෝ දන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉගෙනගෙන හරි පිළිගන්න ඕනේ.
Politicians must study the basic practices of the finance management unless they don't know it. All the expenses until the end of April this year has been covered by the vote on account. It has allocated money to settle the due loans as well as other development activities. Again, we do not expect any issue even after 3 months from the 30th of April. With the dissolution of the parliament, the president has powers to make funds available via the consolidated fund that is allowed via the constitution. They must understand that we had no any issue over this year, but we sought funds to settle what the previous government didn't settle last year. The opposition has a greater role to play to ensure a healthy democracy in any country. Clause number 148 of the Constitution clearly says it. Unless the opposition does not shoulder that responsibility, we can't take that burden. That is not our responsibility.
The Road Development Authority says that the newly opened Mata to Barvakumara extension of the Southern Expressway will be open for traffic from midnight today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa inaugurated the last stage of Southern Expressway, the extension from Palaturu to Barwakumbaka yesterday. The final stretch of the 222-kilometer Southern Expressway was declared open yesterday by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. After the opening ceremony of the new stretch of the Southern Expressway, the President and Prime Minister travelled from Palaturu to Barwakumbaka on the Southern Expressway. The length of the extension commissioned yesterday from Palaturu to Barwakumbaka of the Southern Expressway is 58 kilometers and its construction cost is under 69 billion rupees. The sections from Matara to Beliyatta, Beliyatta to Barwakumbaka, Barwakumbaka to Andaravavu and Andaravavu to Mattala were completed under 4 stages with a cost of 225 billion rupees. With the opening of the new extension of the Southern Expressway, one can travel to Katharagama from Colombo within 3.5 hours. Stay tuned for more news right after this break. Welcome back after the break. Sri Lanka's rough rice harvest in the main cultivation season, rather known as Maha season, where harvesting is now underway, has been raised to 2.97 million metric tons. The officials from the Ministry of Agriculture noted that the harvest has almost reached the last year's production of 3.07 million metric tons. The forecast by the Department of Agriculture was 2.4 million metric tons in the Maha season, and they also expected an amount of 2.77 million metric tons of rough rice would be left for milling. The officials pointed out that at a 68% milling ratio, about 1.88 million metric tons of rice would be produced. They further added that main season production would also be enough to nearly 9 months of domestic use. According to the calculations, Sri Lanka produces about 1.5 million metric tons in the Yale cultivation season. The forecast is based on 756,840 hectares of paddy that is assumed to be cultivated by December 2020. Officials also pointed out that about 27,059 hectares of paddy was hit by floods in Batiklo and Kurunagala districts. They also added that as the government has already introduced a certified price for the paddy and transparent mechanism to purchase the paddy directly from the farmers, the waste of paddy will be remarkably reduced. The Sri Lanka Air Force and the Eagles Golf Links hosted the Commanders Cup 2020 annual golf tournament, which concluded last Saturday in the China Bay close to the harbour city of Trincomalee. The tournament, played under the handicap rules, was open to all and started off with the participation of 102 enthusiastic golfers from Sri Lanka and 2 ambassadors, Ambassador of Myanmar Hantu and Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia, Gusti Guraj Adidas. Suren Prematilaka won the Commanders Cup 2020, securing the highest marks in the gents division of 40 points, while Nilu Jayatilaka won the ladies trophy with a total score of 36 points. Zhao Liang was placed the runner-up of gents division with 28 points. Roshni Sangani was placed the runner-up of ladies division with 31 points. Eagles Challenge Trophy, presented to members of the Tri-Services in men's category, was won by Lieutenant Commander H.M. Udavatta, while Lieutenant Commander R.M.R.C. Ratnayaka emerged as the runners-up. The awards were given away at an award ceremony held at Clubhouse during the afternoon of the same day under the presence of the Commander of the Air Force, Air Marshal Sumangala Dias and Mrs. Mayuri Prabhavi Dias. Ramada Hotel in Colombo hosted the testing menu event for its Japanese menu Mizu for corporate clients and diplomats within the industry last Wednesday. A Mizu menu with evolving fusion of flavors derived from traditional Japanese preparations combined with local and international cuisine was laid out for the distinguished invitees. The Japanese word Mitsu means water representing the fluid. The head Japanese chef at Ramada, Chef Chamila, incorporated this philosophy of Mitsu in preparing the dishes. Chef Chamila has extensive experience on the field, having worked at multiple Japanese restaurants in Dubai, Venice, Abu Dhabi, etc. A vast array of dishes, including a variety of starters, sushi, sashimi, maki rolls, temaki, soups, and salads, complement an indulgent range of mains that feature the popular chicken katsu curry, katsudon, and traditional favorites like beef, chicken, or salmon teriyaki were presented. Stay tuned for stock updates right after this break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 33.21 points to close at 5,797.3 and the S&P SL20 dropped 17.01 points to close at 2,771.3. The turnover was 424 million rupees and over 12 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex trades. With that, we will end today's news. Send us your views and comments via our email address and our hotline and log into our Facebook page to be alert on latest updates. Join us tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.